All right, guys, are you excited about the 243 horse competitor against the Pro R?
I can't believe they. I mean, how did they come up with it so fast?
Yeah, that was shocking.
Well, there have been rumors.
Nobody's.
Yeah.
Yeah, but nobody's seen a photo until this launch. So with this video, they just went super deep into it. Let's talk about some of the features.
What was it? 4 more inches of travel? I forget how much.
Yeah, so I think the Pro R has 24. So this has 28 inches of travel.
So more travel, and obviously we got quite a bit more horsepower.
So the dynamic suspension, it goes into, it thinks like 105, different scenarios per second. This is like 180 scenarios per second. So
You just did everything that Polaris did and then a little bit more.
yeah, they're calling it, Smart Shocks LS. Not that you need like more letters for Can-Ams, but it's
Yeah,
Smart
the
Shock.
last thing they needed is more letters, that's for sure.
Do you know what LS stands for?
What LS?
Light speed. So
That was Lazy Susan.
no, it didn't even say it, but I went on to I found like a technician
Okay.
through Tyler,
Okay.
and I was like, what does the LS stand for? And it stands for light speed.
Oh, okay.
Isn't that cool?
That is way cool.
So that's interesting.
And then they put that kind of like the Ford Eco 2.7 in it? Is that what they're putting in it? Something
So
like that?
I thought that was kind of a weird move for Can-Am because, everyone's like,
Merged with Ford?
The Razor's based off a Chevy Cobalt engine. So we were all expecting a NA car, naturally aspirated. But they stuck with a turbo car, and they're using the 2.7 liter EcoBoost from Ford.
That's crazy.
And that partnership really allowed them to get to market quickly, having Ford's tooling,
Already having
and
it kind of done.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And it's interesting because somehow that relationship was formed through the electric F-150, even though this is not an electric car. But the electric version of this car is sick.
I can't hold it together anymore.
It's Dallin, bro.
Once I started, I couldn't. And then he started laughing. It was over. I'm sorry, guys. We're just as disappointed as you. There is no Pro R competitors, no 243, anything like that.
Hey,
they kind of just stuck to their guns and ran with it.
They do have a 7.6-inch digital display in the XDS 64-inch model, so...
Yeah. Kind of trying to get some features in there that they haven't had. I mean, Polaris has destroyed them on the features on the inside of the cab.
There's no, let's see, where does it show that display?
7.6, it's on the...
But it doesn't
on the
show,
DS model.
It doesn't show that, maybe it's in accessories. So we're going to veer off a little bit. So we just watched the product launch, and it was very underwhelming. There was a 30-second video that dropped. We're going to talk a little bit about that one. The product launch was basically... Did you learn anything from it?
There was that was really weird. It really was. I didn't get anything from it.
They lost our attention really quickly, too. We kind of just started talking.
Yeah, it was there's nothing really here. They just weren't really giving anything. I would say, to me, the biggest thing that Can-Am has done with their 23 lineup is, if you're looking for a base model car, Can-Am destroyed it in that category. I mean, their base model car has 135 horse, right?
Yep.
So they're 25 more horse than the Polaris. They also have a little bit better suspension this year with that model. So I don't think there's even a question. I'm not like a massive Can-Am guy, but there's not even a question. If I'm buying a base model, I'm buying that model.
Yeah.
And it's also $300 less. Like, it's less money, more horse, better suspension. Like, I don't even know why you would buy anything besides that model.
Just to be clear, we're comparing the Razor XP1000 and the Cam X3 DS Turbo 64.
Yeah, just be your two base models of Polaris or Can-Am. That's what we're comparing to. And yeah, for sure, it's by far, out of everything that they've done, it's that and then price point.
Yeah.
They're, I mean, on average, comparing unit to unit, closest that you can kind of compare in a Polaris model to a Can-Am model, I mean, you're roughly, on the top end models, you're $10K less.
I think that is a really big reason why they're sticking with their cars. I think supply chain issues is another huge issue. That they're like, okay, we're building these cars, we can supply them to our customers. Let's not change it up too much right now until we get this supply chain thing
figured out
under wraps.
Yeah, they've already got plenty of people that have ordered cars and haven't gotten their ECU stuff or this or that for their car, so I don't think they really wanted to add more chaos to the current chaos of manufacturing distribution today.
Is they're going to try to integrate a lot of features in the shop. So when you walk away, you're going to think, okay, I'm buying this Can Am versus this Turbo R or whatever, and I can walk out the door with the rugged radio, with the speaker bar, with the windshield, with the light bar, with the winch, for about the same price as I'm going to pay for a Turbo R. So I think that's another thing that Can Am is really trying to capitalize on is the accessories. I think they're going to kill it with the accessories.
So they got the RC model, they got the Mud Edition, and then they got their I would say their top tier model, which would be their Turbo RR with the smart shocks and all that.
Yeah.
Which no more horsepower than last year, nothing else changed there. So
I want to go into a couple changes or what I'm seeing. Let's see.
I would say the Pro R and the Can Am, like power to weight ratio, it's pretty even playing field, and so I'm guessing they're not in as big as a rush.
Yeah, the price point on the Turbo R and the Can Am, the Razor Turbo R and the Can Am Turbo RR is pretty similar. You're looking at, a base model Turbo R is $28,000, and a nicely equipped Can Am Turbo RR is a little over $30,000. Now, nicely equipped Turbo R is about $35,000. So pretty close on the Turbo R. Now the Pro R, you're looking at over $40,000. So then you're almost $10,000 more than the Can Am.
Well, check out the RS.
You're looking at quite a bit.
The Turbo RR 72-inch car for $25,899. I mean, that's a huge difference.
It's a good value.
That's a really good car for that price tag.
You could hop in that car and run with the Pro R.
Now,
it's not, and it's going to be lighter. It's going to be pretty light. That version right there, you don't have a roof. I mean, as we've been riding a lot, we're deleting more parts than anything else,
Maybe not on purpose, but
I mean, we just don't need don't need all of these parts. You don't need all these parts. I need a winch. I use the winch every time we go out, whether it's on myself or pulling other cars out.
Yeah.
I've actually used the winch to pull myself over from flipping.
Is this like 3 times now you've done that?
Twice, I think. Twice.
Using the winch?
To pull myself over,
Did we not use in the Glamis and the Witch's Eye? Did we not use the winch there?
Yeah, we did. So 3 times.
So 3 times
You're
we
right.
winched your own car out with your winch.
With my winch.
And then you've winched so many other people with your winch.
And I've saved a lot of people. They're really killing it with the colors. They look pretty cool. Other than that, there's not a lot of changes.
Not a whole lot of changes. It's really just the base model. They did the extra horsepower to the base model, and then the rest is, just literally more or less just a color combo. They didn't do a whole lot to it. So I don't think you're...
That RC is the same price as what I paid for mine.
Yeah.
Now,
so that's pretty cool of them. They've kept that price down.
Yeah.
Nobody else has been able to do that. I mean, just with Polaris alone, I got mine in January, so I got lucky. I paid 0 upcharge costs, but you just got yours yesterday, and you had to pay extra price for it because it took so long, and so
yeah,
with everything going up these days,
yeah.
Now, so I'm impressed on that.
Yeah, the Razor, they charged me 5% more upcharge from when I
initially bought it.
Put my deposit down, and then the shipping or the transport was $500, and that went up to $1,900.
Oh wow!
Jeez.
So, but
I've heard about other people paying more than that too.
Yeah. So, the X3 RC, it was $33,000. That's the sticker price, $32,899, and it was $40,000 out the door. So when you guys are looking at these cars, there are a lot of. They charge you for building them. They charge you for document fees, they charge you sales tax, and
unless you find like a really, really cool dealer that is just either desperate to get rid of the car or whatever it may be. I mean, there is a few people out there getting some deals. I think I see more deals happening on the East Coast, people actually getting them closer to that MSRP. But it seems like when you see MSRP, it doesn't mean that's what you're walking away from if you go to the dealership tomorrow, because you're not.
So, the RC, it pretty much keeps up with the Pro R. And it's more expensive than the X3 RS Turbo RR 72, like the top end model. The difference is I don't have any type of smart shocks. I did tune my shocks to handle really well.
But you can get it with the smart shocks. It's actually a hair cheaper than that RC, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
the RC just comes with so many components. But what I'm getting at is that the difference between like the Pro R and the Dynamics DV suspension, it's a game changer, you know. And I think that the smart shocks has not reached that level.
No, it's still 24 inches. What I was going to highlight, this Dynamics versus the Smart Shocks. Dynamics knows when you're turning left, stiffen up the right side of the car. Smart Shocks doesn't know that. It's just wild riding in you know, the Pro R when you're just ripping around a corner staying completely level. Like, it's just amazing.
Yeah, it's very deceiving, and I feel like in a Pro R or even just a Dynamics in general, a DV suspension, that electronic suspension that Polaris has done, I mean, they've knocked it out of the park, and I mean, Can Am's really gotten a lot better, so I think they're now somewhat competitive in that area, but like you say, I don't think they can still match that yet, but we'll see if they've done anything this year to kind of make that Smart Shock a little bit better, but we'll see.
I think their main goal is to deliver cars, you know.
And at a good price.
At a good price. I think that their Can Am's gonna kill it. I mean, they have a great car. I love the car. I got very close to just
bailing,
not buying the Razor because I love this car so much.
You know, Can Am is really putting out some attractive things, and I feel like they're really giving Razor a run for their money, especially at the price point. I mean, if they could really sell these at these prices, you know, it's pretty attractive. It's a good value.
Well, I mean, my biggest thing is, you know, I got my Pro R in January, right? And Chad, you picked up your Can Am RC a month later?
Yeah.
Roughly. We've been going head to head. We drive somewhat similar. We're kind of careless with our driving, I think. And
you sink?
Yeah, I think.
Well, you haven't wrecked your car.
Yeah, I've gotten lucky. I haven't wrecked it, but
well, I did collide.
We have run into each other.
We have touched each other lightly a couple of times, but the thing is that like that Pro R costs a lot more than what your RC costs. Well, I guess out the door it wasn't a huge difference once you got out the door, but
out the door, what, 40 versus 46, 47?
Yeah, I was roughly, I think.
Yeah.
I think it was about $8K difference.
The RC just comes more well equipped. You know, bead locks, rock sliders, comes with
the winch,
the metal roof. Well, yours has a metal roof too.
I think to me, like,
but yours came with a stereo.
I came with a stereo, ride command. I mean, I'm a big fan of my Pro R all day long, but Chad makes me want to punch myself in the throat half the time, because half the time when we're going up a huge dune or something like that, or we're going somewhere where like total horsepower wins,
we can just
the fastest car.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you always pass me. But usually when it's in sand, I mean, you have your scoops, and I got my System 3s, which was probably a really bad decision on my part. Be getting rid of those pretty quickly.
I think people that watch your channel pretty much know
that. They know that I hate those now.
System 3s.
Yeah. But I mean, you can get a heavier scoop on them now and stuff like that. That wasn't available then. But anyways, my point is your price tag is so much lower on that Can Am, and you still have, you know, horsepower to weight ratio. You're all there with the Pro R. It's just a matter of, do you want my Pro R features? If you don't care about those features that the Pro R has that the RC doesn't, or the Can Am Smart Shocks doesn't,
versa, you know,
I mean, whatever.
Like if you're gonna just be rock crawling, you don't need a Pro R. I mean, the Pro R's.
I'd still want it.
Yeah, it's an awesome rock crawler, but
yeah.
I mean, the RC comes with the winch. It comes with all these cool things, and I think that's kind of where
I like it for like the rock boat situation and
Yeah,
stuff
I
like
can't
that
wait
with
to
the
try
Pro
that.
R
Yeah.
for rock crawling and beefier, heavier components underneath and stuff like that. So that would be kind of where I would say I'd still want my Pro R over that RC still.
yeah.
You get your winch. That's really about your only really benefit there, but you're paying a lot less. I can put a winch on mine, but I'm already paying a lot more. So that's where I kind of sometimes I'm like, man, I could have saved myself $8K
Yeah.
and I could have been just as fast.
Well,
But I like the way that Polaris handles, and I love the ride command, and I love the stereo, and all those other bells and whistles that you get in it.
Uh-huh. It's just fun, you know. When you get in these cars, if you get one, it's just fun to ride. It's exciting. These cars are going into a trend where, kind of like the Pro R, where the expectation is not to buy as much aftermarket stuff. I mean, this
Kind of
thing
like
is-
Speed's idea, right? Like,
Yeah.
you buy it, and you tell us what you want on day one, and it's going to show up on day one with all the extras that you wanted, versus going to the guy down the street and, you know, having him put them on for you. I think both, everybody, you know, Polaris and Can Am, they're so behind on cars. I don't think they're trying to add more chaos to to their situation. So I think both of them, it's kind of been an uneventful, you know, fall where cars really aren't coming out that are next tier level cars this year.
Yeah, Polaris is
But
reveal.
Polaris did it last year, and it was
That's
a pretty good drop.
I think Polaris's reveal is what, just changing the prices,
Prices in a couple colors.
a couple colors.
That was it. The biggest drop this whole fall has just been a KRX, to be honest, is because they came out with the KRX 4.
Yeah.
They're the only ones that actually did something really different this year, I feel
Yeah.
like. Everyone else they're just dropping what they have, but either a higher price tag or just the same thing in another color.
Yeah.
Maybe Yamaha? What do you YXZ fans think, huh?
What YXZ are we going to get? Are we going to get a 4-cylinder YXZ?
I doubt it.
Yeah, I doubt it too.
Yeah. Well, drop it in the comments.
Tell us what you think. Who knows?
Comment, like, subscribe, and tell us what your thoughts are with the Can Am drop.